Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Pooh Shiesty. Now, by now you should have heard the news that Pooh Shiesty got locked up, man. You know, he had a whole case that he was going through. And yesterday the case finally came to its end. Pooh Shiesty got his sentencing. Now, it was almost a star-studded event because he had Gucci Man there, he had Wallow from the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast there, and a lot of other people speaking on his behalf, hoping to get him the least amount of time as possible. Now, by now, you probably heard that Pooh Shiesty got 5 years out of a possible maximum of 8. Now, this is a win from a lot of people's perspective for Pooh Shiesty, and it looks like the rapper will be on the streets back here rapping again before we know it. I think he's only like 22 years old, so this will be a break from the rap game, but he won't be there so long that people forget about him. You know, his wave was big enough, he'll be all right. Now, with that, it looks like Pooh Shiesty wanted to turn things around and talk to his fans and supporters. He responded to the decision and the sentencing that he received yesterday and let his fans know that he'll be back. Now, before we go over the post made by Pooh Shiesty and also talk about the resolution in this case, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Pooh Shiesty getting these 5 years, or 63 months to be exact, right? So that's the sentence that came down, and a lot of people were wondering why. So I usually refer to this guy on social media. He's a lawyer, and his name on social media is A Lawyer for Workers, and he broke down the case and why the decision came down from the judge. Now let's check out this short clip, and then we'll talk about Pooh Shiesty's response to the sentence that he got.
Why did Pooh Shiesty get 5.25 years and not the 8 years plus that prosecutors were pushing for? Simple. The judge agreed with Pooh Shiesty's lawyers that the government was overcalculating. They were putting Pooh Shiesty's score too high under the federal sentencing guidelines. And where the government was seeking to increase that score based on arguments that this was a robbery, involved shooting of somebody to get their stuff, the judge actually sided with the defense argument that this looks like a drug deal gone bad.
Now, as you heard right there, the reason that Pooh Shiesty got the 5 years, according to this lawyer, is that the judge sided with him and his, or at least his attorneys, saying that Pooh Shiesty was caught up in a drug deal gone wrong. That's what led to this shooting and everything, you know what I mean? And that's what led to this whole situation and him being even involved, because they went on the premise, because remember there was a report that came out earlier in the trial where they talked about how much Pooh Shiesty's net worth was. And they said that, hold up, man. He, at that point, had millions of dollars. Like, it was concrete. Pooh Shiesty had millions of dollars at the point that this took place. So what sense would it make that he was out there trying to rob somebody? So the judge obviously went with that as well. It was like, yeah, just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So we're going to treat this as a drug deal gone wrong, and that's why he got the 5 years, according to that attorney, right? He could break it down well. Now, Pooh Shiesty's fans were a little bit, caught between with this decision, man. They didn't know what to think about this. Even I didn't know what to think about this. Because, you hear about people getting time in jail, 10 years, getting out, and maybe like 5 or something like that. But it's usually with some state cases. Now, with these federal cases, things are different. They're more rigid. It seems like they've got a sentencing guideline. You have to do a certain percentage of your sentence, and they only have a few programs to lessen your time. But there are programs that can lessen your time. Now, what does this mean? That Pooh Shiesty might be back on the streets earlier than we anticipate. I mean, being out here rapping sooner than, 2027 or being back earlier than then is a win regardless. So it's been said like that in other videos. But man, to be back even earlier than the fans expect, and you still got a little bit of buzz, that's only a win for you and your team. So Pooh Shiesty took to social media and had some things to say about this, and he said this. Now, on his official Instagram page, he made this post right here. Now, in the top, you can see it has his government name, Lontrell Williams, and it looks like it's in an email form because you see it's a reply from a reply from a reply, right? And you see it's dated as of today, during the afternoon time. So this has just happened, you know what I'm saying? So it came from Pooh Shiesty, it just happened, but they blocked out who it was to. But obviously who's working his social media right now, he wanted him to get this, or him or her, to get this out to the fans. Now it says this, it says, the biggest, I just want to thank y'all, my loved ones, supporters, and fans for holding me down during these hard times. I wish I could be coming home to y'all today, but this could have been way worse. I will be back sooner than y'all think, but meantime, New music dropping next week. Blur. You know what I mean? So letting it be known that he's got new music coming next week, and I'm sure his fans will be excited about that because, to be honest, Pooh Shiesty had a grip on the game. You know, he was really killing it. Him and Lil Durk, I mean, as far as like drill rap and street rap and gangster rap is concerned, like those were the two dudes like out front early. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were riding with those cats. And Lil Durk has gone off to do amazing things. Like he's killing it. Like ridiculous. Like beating everybody's expectations. And Pooh Shiesty was on that same trajectory. So he's hoping that, you know, he can still put out some music, you know, really let the fans know that, yeah, he's still, you know, got, you know, raps and stuff that he could put out there, you know, so that way they don't forget him. And hopefully he has enough material saved up to where he can whet their appetites up until the point that he's eventually released. But what do you guys think about this response from Pooh Shiesty? Do you think this was just a heartfelt thank you to all his supporters, just letting them know he'll be back before you can expect it? Or do you think that, you know, there might be something else that he's saying here? I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. I don't know if you could dig anything out of this but that. But with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.